If you love talking about cats, but your friends and family are kind of over it, this is the podcast for you. Join your hosts, Danielle Stray Woolley and Elizabeth Calico Gearhart, on the Jersey PodCats, where everyday cat lovers share funny stories, challenging situations, and ask their questions about cats. All right, let's get right into this episode.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Woolley.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart, and we are the Jersey PodCats. And Danielle, you had an exciting adventure.
It wasn't exciting. It was nerve-wracking, but I guess you can equate nerve-wracking to exciting, but yes. So with the rescue that I volunteer with, we received an email about a cat stuck up in a tree. So I had never dealt with that before. I focus on the trap, neuter, return stuff, or if, there's a friendly cat, helping get it trapped so that we can, get it into foster. Or if there's no fosters, we surrender them to the Humane Society because they're amazing. They don't put cats to sleep, the one that we work with. And long story medium is I thought I was being helpful, and I did a bunch of research online, and I responded to the person saying, oh my gosh, that sounds so stressful. That's not something that we can help with. Here's some resources I found online, or maybe you can contact, the fire department. Well, that was all wrong because one of our other volunteers saw the email and said, no, we actually used this guy 2 years ago for a cat stuck up in a tree, and it's what he does. So I was like, oh, okay, I learned something new today.
Right. Well, I just want to say she sent me the video, and this was a tall evergreen tree, and the cat was at the very top.
Yeah, the tree was taller than the electrical line. So for anybody who lives in an area with electrical lines around your house, it was like taller than a 2-story house. It was tall. And couple of stories intertwined. That's why I said long story medium, but it might be long story long. So just bear with me. So, we were going to reach out to this guy, but it was community members, they said, let's just wait and see. We have someone who wants to try to get the cat out. So they called the fire department already while I was doing my research and trying to figure out what to do. And the fire department said, we can't really do this, but, we could try a ladder, so they tried a ladder. All they did was drive the cat up even higher into the tree, but tried to help. And then one of the neighbors said, you know what? I'm losing sleep over this, because the cat was up in the tree overnight, because we didn't see the email till late at night, but the cat had already been there. So then by the morning, by the time I saw the other reply, 12, 14 hours had already gone by. This poor kitten was up in the tree. And he's like, I just had this dream that I was just going to climb right up there, save the day, get the cat. And he tried, he really did, but it was a spruce tree. And as you got up higher, the tree just started swaying, and it was just not safe for him to go up. He really did try, though.
You know what, Danielle? I would never have a dream that I was going to climb a tree, because that would be terrifying.
He was so confident. He's like, I'm going to do it. And we're all just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even look. I was like, and his wife was like, would you get down from there? It was a very interesting time. And, so that didn't work. So then they said, you know what? My buddy works for the fire department. And they're like, no, we already called. They said they can't help. They tried a ladder. And they're like, we have a friend, we're going to make this happen. So I was working. So I had just gone there to assess it really quick. And then I had to get back home for work. And then I get a call back saying they brought the fire truck with the ladder extension on it.
Oh my gosh.
And the cat is now at the very tippity top of the tree, and the tree is swaying back and forth. So at this point I was like, we are calling Rob Gillies is his name, by the way.
And this is why we love cats, right?
because they keep our lives exciting.
Only a cat would do something that.
And when I tell you the face on this cat, it was so adorable, but so let me finish with this part of the story first. So, he was amazing. He got there and he's like, all right, give me a soft carrier. So there's the first tip. If a cat's stuck in a tree and you're trying to go up and get it, don't try a hard carrier. Because I was so frazzled. He's like, how am I going to bring that up the tree? So we got a flat carrier, like the cloth ones, just hooked it onto his belt, and he started making his way up the tree. I should say that he is I think it's the senior arborist, master arborist. I don't know. He's like a tree connoisseur. He just knew exactly how to navigate up the tree. And as he kept going up, the cat's still wailing, and it looked like a Christmas tree topper. I can joke about it now because fast forward, the cat's safe now. But at the time, I was recording it just to show how what an incredible save this was. but I was still
Right.
terrified watching. I couldn't even watch while I was videotaping because the tree was literally swaying with the cat on top, like going back and forth. And surprise, he got the cat down like in no time. So if you ever have an
Wow.
issue where your cat's stuck in the tree and you live in central and northern New Jersey, definitely look him up. His rate was reasonable, and we actually did a fundraiser to help cover the cost. So the neighborhood all
What's
chipped
his
in.
what's his name?
Rob Gillies.
Rob Gillies.
Hmm.
So did he, when he got up there, did he put the cat in the carrier when he was at the
He
top of the
did.
tree?
Yes.
How?
So
Oh my
he had
gosh.
on gloves, like,
Yeah.
tree working chopper gloves, whatever you call it, but then also similar to like when you handle a feral cat and you wear the thick gloves. But the cat wasn't feral. It was just really cranky. And he just, tried to get to the cat, and the cat literally had nowhere else to go. And he just knew exactly how to, what's it called?
Grab the
Scruff.
scruff of its
Yeah,
neck.
scruff.
Yeah.
And he had the bag ready to go, put it right in and zipped it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was like, yay! Everybody was
Yay.
cheering.
So did the cat belong to anybody?
No, it was a
Um,
stray kitten, and the crazy part is that there was a really caring individual who saw the kittens. It was 3 kittens and a mom, but knew better from past experience because it actually, long story short, like his mother actually used to help take photography for the cats that couldn't get adopted for our rescue.
okay.
So he was already familiar with cats. He's helped take pictures of
Mhm.
them before, and he's had to trap before. But he knew not to just like go crazy and start trapping. So he was trying to build their trust first. And it just so happened that
Oh,
they were doing construction, scared all of them away. They scattered, and that's how the cat wound up across the street up a freaking tree.
oh, a little kitten, poor thing.
But the picture afterwards, this cat looked so pissed that he was rescued. But now he's inside and he's warm, and he probably feels really stupid that he climbed up the tree and
All
didn't let
right.
all those people help him.
So where is he inside? Is he at a shelter, at a foster
No,
family?
no,
Right.
he's they're keeping him. The man that was trying to get him before
Aw,
all this
that's
happened.
nice.
And now he's going to also be a volunteer for Tommy's Cats. He's going to help try trapping the rest of the cats that are outside and
Mm.
foster them until we can get them into homes. But he's going to keep 2 of the kittens. And now we're
Oh,
working
that's
on finding a
wonderful.
mom and the kitten to go somewhere else.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yay. What
Told you it was long
color
story long.
what colors are the cats?
So this one was like they call it diluted. It's not really tabby colored, but it was like
Oh,
gray and like
cream.
peach. Yeah. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
was a bobtail, and so is the mom,
Oh. Oh.
which is interesting because I have a bobtail cat in my yard that I'm trying to trap now that it just magically found its way to me, but that's for another day. But keep him busy.
Cats magically find their way to you. Dogs too, like all the
Yes. I
time.
haven't had a random dog jump on my car in a while though.
That's good. Well, so
What's going on with your guys?
Mercutio. So
Hmm.
Mercutio is my oldest cat. He's
Cushy.
thir- Cushy, yeah. He's almost 13. And he was found in a dumpster behind a Best Buy, and he was in a kill shelter when I got him, and he was probably 8 months old. He'd been in the shelter for 4 months. So they found him when he was 4 months and put him in the shelter for 4 months. So the first thing he did when I got him home was stretch out as long as he could on the sofa.
I bet I would have too.
But he's my little love. He sleeps with me every night. He sleeps on my pillow. And he's always slept with me. Even when Checkers was alive and was so mean to him about everything else, he always still slept with me. Um, but he gets this sneezing and congestion every few months. And I take him to the vet. And the last time I took him to the vet, it was a different one than the vet I normally see at the practice. And she said, "Oh, it's Bartonella. He had it when he's a kitten. He's probably got Bartonella." Yes,
Hmm.
they tested him. She said, "Yes, it's Bartonella." Gave him this medicine. I gave it to him for a week, but I don't know that it helped. Well, it did help. He quit sneezing, but he just threw up all over the house. And it was this bright
Oh,
fluorescent pink medicine. So
his
they're like,
stomach probably was miserable.
yeah. So I quit giving it to him after a week. So anyway, I don't know if that was causing everything because he's got it again now.
Ugh. Hey,
So
listeners, don't take our advice, take your vet's advice. So if we say we stop and start something,
yeah.
doesn't mean you should.
So yeah, I mean, and I should have gone back to them and said, like, what else can you give him? But,
Hmm.
um, so now I have to take him back, and I'm taking him back to the regular vet that I see at the practice. So I called the vet today and I said, he's got this congestion again, which he gets every few weeks. And can you see him? She's like, "Well, I'm sorry. No, we're full till Thanksgiving." And I said, "Listen," said, I bring 3 cats to your vet. I have always brought my cats to your vet for years. I said, I've spent lots of money with you guys, and you're telling me you can't see my cat. And she's like, well, and I said, well, talk to Dr. Charney, see if he'll just at least give me the antibiotic for him
Hmm.
or have a tech give him the shot because they give him shots of Covenia. And she said, well, okay. So she did go talk to Dr. Charney, who's actually a really good vet. Like he's very compassionate. He actually really cares a lot about the cats. Like he loves cats. He has cats at home and he's really devoted to animals. So anyway, he said, well, have her bring him in at 5:40 this evening or 6:40 or something. So I wrote it down on my calendar. So I'm going to take him in after dinner and he's going to check him out because he didn't want to just give him the medicine without looking at him. But
That makes
my
sense, especially if it's come back again. Now, can you just share more? Because I actually completely forget. It's good and bad enough that I don't remember to eat my own lunch. We were talking about that before we started
yeah,
recording. I don't remember some of the symptoms of stuff. But could you just share, like, what is it that led to, like, hey, this might be Bartonella? Like, what were some of the symptoms and signs?
I didn't think it was Bartonella, but
Okay.
the vet did. So Bartonella is this disease that flies under the radar. She said, I think it's cat scratch fever. Um,
I'm gonna
and
Google it
so
while you're talking.
yeah, so she decided to test him for Bartonella. He'd had it as a kitten, but when he had it as a kitten, he had like flakes of white stuff in his mouth,
Mm,
and he doesn't have that anymore. Um, and I had Max tested for it, but Max didn't have it. Um, so it's kind of obscure, and vets don't normally test for it. But what
yeah, it
I
looks like it comes from fleas, and it says
yeah,
some cats that actually do have it might be asymptomatic. But if
right.
it gets severe enough, it says to look for fever, swollen lymph nodes, lethargy, decreased appetite, red eyes, vomiting, neurologic dysfunction, or retinal disease.
So he doesn't actually have any of that. He has
Oh,
congestion and sneezing.
okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's so he
So
may
it
have
sounds like it could be something else then.
so it's something else is going on with him. And like one thing I like about Dr. Charney is he's like a non-invasive vet. So some vets are like, okay, well, let's cut him open, like they want to do with checkers. Let's cut him open
Mhm.
and do all this other stuff. And it's like, well, let's do what we have to do. But I mean, because for me, like I'll spend the money on my cat. I mean, I spent $5,000 on checkers just to get her evaluated, never went forward with any surgeries or anything. So I'll spend the money, but I just don't like cutting them open if they don't need to be. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
Um,
Yeah.
so I did have one time I took him in to that practice and Dr. Charney wasn't available. And I had this young vet who was just starting out. He's like, well, we could do all this analysis, go up his nose. And I'm just like, I said, well, okay, let me think about it. And so I'm gonna see Dr. Charney has a lot more experience. I'm gonna see what he says about it because he's been
Okay.
treating Cushy for a long time. So
Yeah, because I know that, and this is going to sound maybe not so crazy, because I know we've talked about giving cats Zyrtec for certain things before with doctor approval, of
yeah.
course. But I do notice that when I do like a crazy cleaning at my house, even when I take extra allergy meds and it makes me like not feel good because I'm allergic to everything under the sun, like we've discussed before, I do notice my cats get a little more congested. So just for fun, I just Googled why would a cat experience congestion every few weeks? It could be due to allergies, it could be due to upper respiratory infections, or it could be a dental issue, which I never would have thought of. So I'd be curious to see what the vet says.
I wonder if it could be a dental issue. He lost one of his big teeth in the front, and I don't know how or when, and he wouldn't let me look at it for a long time. I got him to the vet, and they looked at it. There's like, well, it was a clean break. It's okay. But I'm wondering, I might have him take a look at the teeth. Because you bring that up, but it's really funny, Danielle. I got to tell you this. This is a human story. But I went and had my
I guess
teeth.
we'll have a human story.
Oh, will you let me? Well, I'm part cat. I do have
Okay.
another. I do have another quick cat story
Mm,
before we end. But I went to the dentist and I had my teeth cleaned at the dentist, and I had felt fine till I went to the dentist around lunchtime. I came home, my body was on fire. Like
mm,
every joint. I mean, I was in such bad shape after this teeth cleaning. I never did call the dentist back, but I think that teeth, because the gums, and everything, and I
yeah.
think they harbor a lot of disease, and so like your mouth stuff in your mouth can be making you sick. So that could be I wonder, I don't even know when he lost the tooth, if that could be related to his having lost the tooth. Maybe there's an infection up there where the tooth used to be or something. I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
worth asking and mentioning and seeing. And the only reason I started being more sensitive to teeth stuff. Oh, we were actually going to do that as a topic. Before we started recording, I was like, there was something I really wanted to talk about, and it's teeth. So we'll do that next time. So I think then what we'll do is we'll see what the outcome of his vet appointment
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And then we'll piggyback that off of Derek and Thor's dental related appointments. I feel like I live
Yeah.
at the vet.
I mean, I had an older cat once that I had his teeth cleaned by this terrible vet in Atlanta, and he could never hardly use his mouth. Like he was in pain all the time. I could
Aw.
tell from that teeth cleaning. So I'm really careful about that. But I do have to tell you, we went down to Maryland to see my son and daughter-in-law and their baby for a couple days.
Aw.
And their baby is so cute. So she's 9 months old. She's almost walking. Like she pulls herself up and walks along holding on to something, but she is almost walking independently. And anyway, but she would come to me to get picked up, and I would pick her up and I would swing her around and sing the meow song. Or I'd go meow meow meow. And she
Yeah.
would just laugh her head off at that.
She's like, Nana's crazy.
Yeah, they don't have a cat, so
Yeah.
I don't think she hears meows a lot.
So now is she really cute, or do you have grandma eyes on? She really is cute?
She's really pretty cute. Like
Okay.
she came in 3rd in a baby beauty contest, so she's
Oh
pretty
yeah, I
cute.
voted for that. I
Oh,
remember.
thank you.
So the
Yeah.
reason I asked that is because I used to do a lot of portrait photography and a lot of newborns and infants and, holiday pictures. And a lot of the times I had to lie to people and tell them that their kids were cute and they weren't. And I feel so terrible even saying it. Oh, getting that off my chest feels so good.
I know. And what's weird, like sometimes a baby is just not cute, but it grows up
Mhm.
to be like this gorgeous person. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, they're all special. I love all living beings, but when someone's like, "Oh, isn't she adorable?" I'm like, "Oh, she's something. Like she's special."
Yes. Well, we have independent verification that Alice.
That's so funny.
That's funny.
All right. Well, tell Kushi I said I hope he does
I
a good
will.
boy at the vet. And
I
then in the
will.
next episode, we'll keep everybody updated on what happened, and then we'll talk a little bit more about dental stuff too, because I've got quite a few things now that I remember what I wanted to remember
Okay, so
for next time.
next one is Dennis.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. You can follow us at thejerseypodcats.com. You could join our Facebook community at the Jersey PodCats podcast group community. And then also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, which I promise I will get up to date. It's been a little crazy over here. So we're still alive and kicking. Listen to us on your favorite podcast player and on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. Give this podcast a rating so other cat lovers can find it. Connect with the Jersey PodCats on social media or visit thejerseypodcats.com and leave a message sharing a story or question about cats. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.